Rounthony 2Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining me in closing the book on this very ugly chapter in my life, where I have gotten sued, but won. And now, as a bit of an epilogue, I feel obligated to kind of come out here and respond to a video recently uploaded by Mr. Ronald Radke on the official Falling in Reverse YouTube channel of all places. And it's a very interesting video, very compelling work here from Ronald. Even though content creation isn't really like his deal, he really came through with an interesting piece of work over here, which is why I'm going to go over it. Now, this video, unfortunately, is a bit of a mess, in my opinion, in terms of its direction and the various points made within it. I kind of debated with myself as to how I was going to go about pulling this video apart. And I feel like the only sensible way to really go about it is to debunk the various points and arguments Ronald makes across the video, regardless of how small or large they are, just to fully illustrate how deeply silly and unserious this man is. With that being said, I want to say one more thing. Ronald, I know you're watching. Remember this, no matter what I say in this video, no matter what you say in this video, and no matter what is said after this point in time, I want you to always remember, always have in your head, you lost your lawsuit to me, and you had to pay me my legal fees. So again, thank you for that. Nothing you whine about or complain about in this video changes that, not one little bit. You took the L. That is the fact of the matter. And let's watch you cope and seethe. Here we go. Let's start with our first clip here, which on the surface might seem like a kind of innocuous bit of ignorance on Ronald's part, but I want to use this to point out just how strange Ronald's obsession is with me, because he clearly doesn't like me. He has a lot of negative feelings that he's harboring toward me, but simultaneously, he seems so deeply unfamiliar with me and what I do. I feel like when he's thinking of how angry he is about me in his own head, he's more mad at an imagined idea of me than the actual me. Case in point.
For some of you guys that don't know, Anthony Fantano is a music critic, and he goes online and he judges music out of a scale of 1 to 10, which he rarely gives anybody a 10. I don't think he's ever given anybody a 10.
Like, literally my most popular review on my channel is a 10 out of 10 review. I just gave a 10 out of 10 review less than like a month ago, 2 months ago, for the new Clips album, which I highly recommend everyone listen to. So off the bat, to me, it's really funny because Ronald imagines me as this guy who's like just super negative with everything and just makes all of my money off of hating on artists and hating on music, when in fact I give a lot of positive reviews week after week. Over the years, there have been lots of examples of various websites and platforms essentially cataloging and archiving all of my scores, one of the most recent of them being melon.com. And as you can see right here from the front page, where over 3,000 of my reviews are cataloged, a vast majority of the reviews actually concentrate around the 9, 8, 7, and 6 out of 10 range. And sure, you do have collectively hundreds of 5s and 4s and 3s and 2s. But the fact of the matter is, I spend way more time reviewing things I actually like and am passionate about than I am stuff that I hate. So while I will concede to another point here in Ronald's video that, yeah, it is true, I make my money off of other artists' hard work because they're the ones making the albums and the records at the end of the day. Still, most of my time in front of a camera on the internet talking about music is spent celebrating that music and pointing out what I think is interesting and exciting about it. I am, in fact, not the biggest music hater on the planet, believe it or not.
My lawyers told me there's a small chance you will win this, but that's not why I sued him. I sued him so I could make this video right now.
Okay, here we have the first big bit of cope in this video, that Ronald sued me just so he could make this video here that we are watching right now. Do I need to explain why that makes absolutely no sense? Who in their right mind would spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and also pay my legal fees just to make a YouTube video reacting to a 2-year-old video I made that you've already reacted to and commented on TikTok? So like, what are you saying? You sued me so you could make the same video 2 times? Oh, but no, Anthony, it's different. This time Ronnie gets to talk about you being canceled in the context of this video here, which like, okay, I see that Ronald is trying to do that, but don't blow smoke up my ass and tell me that's something he foresaw happening when he filed this lawsuit at the end of last year. He literally sued the wrong Anthony Fantano because he thought I lived in San Diego. You're telling me this guy here is playing 3D chess? So no, Ronald, I apologize. I'm sorry. It's just plain on its face inaccurate that you sued me to make this video.
And I thought the perfect time to do this was right now, was because the audacity for him to make, how long is this video? 10 minute video, just so he can make money off of me. Yeah. The audacity to make a 10-minute video on how things I did 10 years ago are bad and stuff like that, when you, right now, sir, are being judged for something you did a long time ago.
Okay, kind of disingenuous framing on this comment over here. The recent controversies that were brought up about me on Twitter just weeks ago happened years after this video that Ronald is reacting to again now for some reason. Like, I don't even shoot in the room anymore that this is happening in. What are you saying? I had the audacity to make a video 2 years ago because I would have known 2 years later that I would have had people taking issue with things that I said a decade ago. Never mind the fact a great deal of the video, Ronald, that you are reacting to also deals in recent behaviors as well. Contrary to your belief here, I'm actually not really all that obsessed with your past. I actually am more interested in your present, frankly, which is why I made this next point here in my video.
On the inside, deep down, me and you are very similar because we said some things that we should never have said in the past and done some things that we shouldn't have, except I understand that you did that, but you don't understand that I did that, and you don't realize that it's okay that you can grow and change. The bad person, in my opinion, is you, because I don't use people for clicks and views to make money. You do it negatively. You don't care if it hurts their feelings. You don't care if it makes their fans mad. You do it on purpose to make money.
I will say Ronald does make a slightly fair point here in that him and I have both done things in the past that haven't aged all that great. Most notably, the viral clip of me going around on Twitter where I was quoting somebody using some slurs in a piece of content that was being critical of his usage of those slurs, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, regardless of the intention and the context, it was unnecessary, which is why I did a video and uploaded it to Twitter to apologize for it. The fact of the matter is, I should have and could have just censored myself while pointing this behavior out. Explicitly quoting him was in bad form and just unnecessary. I would have still gotten my point across and done so without upsetting anybody had I taken that approach. All I can do is take ownership of having quoted these words in this way, and obviously say that I'm sorry, which I am in fact sorry about this. Even though, again, that clip is almost a decade old at this point, I had already decided that I probably should refrain from doing that again in the future, and understood the potential harm I could be doing by quoting offensive language that some may not be expecting in a piece of content from me. Ronald also makes mention of this clip of me allegedly laughing at the death of Trayvon Martin, which I also talked about in my apology video as being falsely edited. I'm reading a super chat that is on the screen that was sent in by a viewer of the show. And the reason I'm jumping into reading it is that partially it is a dig at me, because on the show it's not exactly a secret that I'm an openly liberal vegan. And from there, here is what actually happens.
A vegan invited me to an event that taught me about PETA's buying guide / neoliberal whiteness and Trayvon Martin. Okay.
Dude, Fuck Trayvon. No. Oh shit! I was gonna.
You're such an.
I don't know. I was gonna say Trey Melvin, but it's no Trayvon Martin. That's
Man,
totally
you're
different.
so. You know what, Jeff? You're so right wing.
As you can see there, that is not the clip that is getting passed around. So again, with that being said, yes, it is true. Ronald and I have both said things long ago in the past that are not a great look. The issue is, Ronald, that you are still very much saying terrible things now. This discussion that you want to have is honestly not really so much about things you've said long ago. Like, you're uploading and posting stuff to the internet now that is very aggressive and very hateful toward women.
This girl, yeah, she looks kind of cute right here, or maybe transgender, I can't tell. She's got like very thick makeup. Let's see what she looks like without makeup on. Yeah, completely not what she looks like. She looks fucking disgusting. Why do you look like a fucking like you have straight up Down syndrome? Cool, congratulations. You went from fucking a 7 with 15 pounds of makeup on to a -2 that a fucking Down syndrome person. Congratulations, you ugly bitch. I stand in solidarity of all the women who have suffered at the hands of violence, whose voices are continually silenced, while men like Ronald Radke are given hero status. Are you fucking kidding me, you ugly fucking shield? No, piece of shit, blockhead, disgusting fucking human. This is you, you fucking moon-faced.
That trivializes race, like your numerous gags about how since you've blacked out your MySpace tattoos, you get to celebrate Black History Month now. Not to mention all of the gross transphobic stuff that you've posted to the internet too. So like, again, Ronald, this is not like stuff from 10 years ago you haven't said in a long time that I'm just like giving you a hard time about because I'm overly judgmental. This is stuff you're saying now. You're saying this stuff now. This is Ronnie Radke today. So when I say you haven't changed and I'm seeing a lack of change in you, it's because of that. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to the gym, man. It has nothing to do with your sobriety, which cool. You know, I'm happy for you on that front. I'm sober dober too. And I'm glad you are living a life that is not as destructive to your own body. Sure. Yes. But can you stop being mean and cruel toward others? That's what I wonder. That's what I want to know. And that is where I personally feel like there is a deep separation between you and I, because when I severely hurt someone, I have the capacity to maybe do a bit of soul searching afterwards and think to myself, you know, what was the behavior that led to that moment? Maybe I should stop that behavior. This is just my opinion here, but I'm having a hard time seeing you as having the capacity to do the same, and we will explore that further in a bit.
Or even hopping on Twitter to be transphobic.
Transphobic. So the last 5 music videos, I've had 2, 3, 4 trans people total working on them, either at my house, watching me take my clothes off and putting clothes on me in my music videos. I'm so tired of this transphobic rhetoric that you guys try to spew, because I think that they, thems is like a weird terminology, and why should I call you a they, them if it's like fucking, it has nothing to do with being trans in the first place? And what is wrong with that? If I don't believe that trans people should compete in women's sports or being put in women's prisons, or trans people in the bathroom with my 6-year-old daughter at the time going to the bathroom. What is wrong with that? That doesn't make me transphobic. It makes me have common sense.
I'm not even sure how to approach the trans topic here with this bit of content Ronald made here, because his deep lack of knowledge and understanding when it comes to pronouns, when it comes to trans identity. I mean, obviously transphobia is rooted in that ignorance, of course, but it comes out in such a way to where Ronald is just not really making a coherent argument at all. Like, again, if you don't have an issue with trans people, why are you posting stuff like this on the internet? But the clearer portion of this section of the video is when he starts talking about him having common sense, which is why he doesn't want trans people in the prison that aligns with their gender identity, or in the bathroom with his daughter, which, like, Ronald, I'm sorry, I know you're kind of posing this as common sense, but these are transphobic arguments here. I mean, let's not even get into the sports thing, because that's obviously a very nuanced issue that has been blown up much larger than it needs to be. Like, it is a bigger topic of discussion than many kitchen table issues that actually impact average people's lives. But let's like get into the bathroom thing, because I mean, that is just such a degrading and gross outright denial of just the right of a person's normal, average, everyday access to a public space that everyone needs access to. Is it because you think trans people are ew, yucky, gross, or because they're dangerous and psychotic and they're all groomers, a term that you like to throw out there sometimes? Again, what is it about trans people that makes them this special, maybe dangerous case that we need to really overthink their bathroom usage and what rules we have around them in regards to the bathroom? Like, you're afraid of a trans woman being in the same bathroom as your daughter. Would you rather a big, buff, burly trans man? Would that make more sense? Or are you more of the opinion that these people just shouldn't have bathroom access at all because it's just too confusing for you? So again, Ronald, I'm not trying to take you down over just some stuff you've said a long time ago. With regularity, you have no issue with using transphobic slurs. And also, just like every other transphobic person out there today, you are deeply concerned with trans people's bathroom access, which is weird and actually comes from a place of judgment and cruelty and meanness, which is, what you're trying to frame me as for being critical of you. Like, Ronald, nobody is impressed that you're willing to have a trans person in your music video to make the video you want or portray you a certain way, or whether or not you're willing to have a trans person style you for a music video or see you put clothes on. The question is whether or not you have the capacity to humanize that person enough to allow them rationally to use the bathroom that aligns with their gender. I really have to illustrate a point I was kind of harping on earlier about Ronnie not really changing, because I think he truly puts the nail in the coffin in a moment toward the end of this video over here in a way that I just want to illustrate for a lot of you watching, and also maybe hopefully for Ronald too, and fingers crossed here, to get him to think about his actions. I know that's a tall order. I know that's really tough, but you know what? I have faith it's possible. But yeah, in this clip right here that you're about to see, Ronald is reacting to me bringing up the infamous performance where he was throwing a bunch of microphone stands into the crowd, injured a concert goer, had to pay that person for damages because they were injured very badly. He sees me bringing up all of this, and then he says this.
2 people were struck in the head. One of them was a 16-year-old girl. Even though Ronnie did this and he got arrested, it's dead to rights. And apparently, this person had to be paid. Yeah, despite.
Yeah, and I'll fucking do it again.
You heard it right from the man's mouth. I would do it again. Think of what you're saying here. You are saying you would do it again, meaning that you would throw those mic stands knowing people, especially one person, would be very badly injured to the point where you had to pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars. You would do that again? So you're saying that moment didn't cause you to stop and think maybe that wasn't a good idea. I feel bad for hurting someone, or at the very least, I really hate that I had to shell out all that money. Are these not thoughts that run through your head? If I injured somebody so badly that I sent them to the hospital by throwing a mic stand, I would feel remorse about that. And if you asked me about it afterwards, I would probably say, yeah, I mean, if I could relive that moment, if I could go back, I wouldn't do that again. I wouldn't do it twice. But once more, you are right here saying I would do it again. No question, no second guessing, even fully knowing everything that came about afterwards as a result. And yet, you want me and everyone watching this video to believe that you're a changed man and you've turned a new leaf. And there's no reason for anybody to hold anything you've done or said in the past against you. But I'm sorry, man, when you're up here saying in this video that this terrible thing I did, I would do it again, there's no reason to believe you because you're not showing remorse for behavior that I think your average person would feel remorseful over. If what you are genuinely communicating here is that you just don't care about that whole situation and the pain that you caused with those behaviors, and you would repeat it all over, That's kind of terrible. Again, because of stuff like that, I'm just not jiving with your characterization of me that I'm being unfair toward you. I am listening to the words coming out of your mouth.
You pay your rent off of the hatred you spew, Anthony. You're literally a hypocrite, and now you're being called out for being a racist. And I think it's really fucking funny, man. I think it's one of the funniest things ever. Actually, I don't think it's funny. I actually feel bad. I'm not a YouTuber, so I'm not really used to doing this like you are. So, this is going to be all over the place. But I think it's really, really fair to say, Anthony, that checkmate, man. Checkmate. Yeah.
Again, what the hell are you talking about? What checkmate ends in you losing thousands and thousands of dollars at minimum and losing a lawsuit? That's not a checkmate situation. Nobody does that on purpose. And you're trying to make this bullshit argument that like, oh man, we're the same because like we've both fucked up in the past, bro. And we don't want to be attacked for stuff that we've done and said in the past, which like, sure, it's true. I think it, is unfair on some level to constantly hold people accountable for stuff they've done long ago. That is, if they've made the effort to make up for those mistakes and heal that damage and just, operate in a different way, be kinder, be nicer, show remorse for things that you've done or said, as I have in regards to the clip that you're talking about me being canceled over, because again, I have apologized. And long before this recent controversy you're bringing up here, I had already changed that behavior. I don't quote people in that fashion like I did that one time, or like also in the context of an album title that might have had a slur in the title or something like that. I don't do that. I'm not doing that. It's not a good look, not a good move. Meanwhile, you're talking about being willing to severely injure someone potentially again, showing no remorse, and you're proudly displaying it for all to see like it's like some kind of virtuous statement. Like, yeah, Ronnie Radke, he stands on business. If he throws a bunch of mic stands in the crowd and almost kills somebody, he's going to show no remorse for that shit.
I think Anthony's a pretentious, insecure little baby that utilizes people for money so he can pay his rent in a negative way. That's what I think.
Okay, Ronnie, like, again, this is like a projection situation here. Are you not constantly insecure, considering that you spend so much time on the internet going after your critics, arguing with anyone that has something negative to say about you? I mean, even recently, and this right here is hilarious, frankly. He posted about a video that I dropped on Instagram, a reel about artists who have done covers that are better than the original. And he was like pushing all of his little Ronsters to like go comment his cover of Last Resort by Papa Roach in the comments, which like, dude, this is sad. This is cringe. What the hell are you doing, man? You know, this is public, right? You know, people can go on your page and go in here and like see this. And again, like there's other bits where you're instructing people in this community to go interact or bother people who have things critical to say about you. And I'm sorry, that's peak insecurity, bro. Like nobody normal does this. I am a fan of a lot of artists out there. I follow a lot of artists' Instagram pages, and this is not how your average artist uses their Instagram community. There's even a funny clip in the midst of this video that I didn't even address up until this point where he comes like really, really close to like threatening me.
That is why I'm suing you. That's why I sued you. The audacity. If I was in front of you right now, dude, listen to what I'm saying right now.
Weird ass fucking behavior. So I think I'm just going to have to leave this here. I don't know what else to say. This is just a deeply, deeply confusing and concerning video. Sorry for having to have any of you watch that. And Anthony Fantano responding video forever.